What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Movie Missing Monsters. We're here on episode 2 of season 3. I am Jax, and I am joined by the lovely, much above average Brian Fella.
It's in her contract. She has to say that every single time.
Every time.
The contract we didn't sign.
Yeah. We are going to take you on a little bit of a journey today through the week of May 21st, 2016. And although you think that this may be done and dusted, it's not.
No.
We got some stuff to show you, a few pieces that got synced up and put together here over the releasing of a lot of evidence. And yeah, we got some fun in store and maybe some things you haven't seen yet. So
yeah, it's gonna be really interesting after looking over everything for the 1,000,002 times we've done it now. That some stuff is starting to sync up.
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
Brian found some really fun video footage that aligns with some things that are in evidence. I think you guys are really going to enjoy seeing that. And yeah, we're going to go once again into the deep end of the week of May 21.
Yes, good Lord, the night that essentially started it all.
It's the hoax. I mean,
it was the night that started it all. It was the night that it was the night it all ended.
Yeah.
And then was the jumping off point for all
it's
of
this. It's really the birth of the hoax. And right now we're going to give you the demolition of the hoax.
Yep. Yeah. And at the core of this is we'll mention is the one statement that Amber Heard won.
Yeah.
The one statement she won. The statement she was victorious. I guess some people would say that they'll cling to that was one of Adam Waldman, one of his statements.
Yeah.
That was in the Daily Mail. He made 3 statements that they were countersuing on, and got one of them. So we're gonna basically show why he had every right to say what he said.
Yes.
And believe what he believed, and we're going to show you the evidence that backs it.
Yep. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, good times indeed.
Get ready. We're going on a voyage.
Yeah.
Step into my TARDIS.
Oh my God. I've never even seen the show and I got that reference.
Hey,
nerd culture.
We're going time traveling.
Okay. Got a new setup here. I've moved I've moved my entire, I would show everyone. I would just like spin the whole camera around, but it is in a delicate position right now.
Yeah.
But got the whole thing set up. I feel like it's gonna go much smoother this time. No more, not a whole lot of glitching. So what do you want to start with? You want to just like let's read the statement maybe?
Yeah, let's take a look at Adam's statement.
Okay.
And then let's kind of get into the beginnings of the night of May 21st.
Let's do it. Let's just let's into the void.
Here we go.
Okay, you want me to share this with you?
Yeah, let's do it.
So everyone can read it same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a little bit sniffly today, gang. My allergies are having a festival.
It's that time of year continued.
Sure is.
Okay. The statement, as you can see on my screen, can you see that? You're all good?
Yep. All good.
Okay. This is the highlighted statement. The statement reads, and this is, I think, the second one. And this was the one that they won on that we're gonna break apart here. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops. Yes. But the first attempt didn't do the trick. Correct. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and a publicist, and then placed a second call to 911.
Yep.
Okay, with that statement.
I mean, the two 911 calls is a fact. These are facts.
It is. These are facts. Also, talking to lawyer publicist.
Facts.
Also facts.
Yes.
Pictures, all of that. And then everything else we're going to get to.
Yep.
The idea that he had every reason and right to say what he said.
Yeah. So let's go to the beginning of the night in question.
Sure. Oh yeah. So I guess I need to share this again, huh?
We're gonna be sharing all day long.
Share and share alike. Okay.
Most of this video is gonna be looking at either of our screens.
Either screen,
yeah.
Yeah. May 21st, 2016, Los Angeles.
Yep.
Picture it. Downtown.
Picture this, downtown LA. If you guys are not familiar, these are the NGN closing documents from the London trial, which you can find on Nick Wallace's website.
Yeah, really easy to find. It goes and it just breaks it all down. Timestamps. Now these are Pacific time and military time. For those not aware, I think most people are. 1614 is actually 4:15 or 4:14. I'm sorry. In the afternoon, and this is Pacific time. All times have been, you can see over here to the far right, time zone has been recalculated.
Yep.
To everything to be on Pacific time. We have the initial text. I'm just going to be focusing on text primarily between Amber Heard and JD right now. So at 4:14, she's asking, let me know if you're still coming, okay? So apparently it's already been worked out that they're gonna be meeting up, and
yep, on this
she's wanting
Saturday.
to know, and then he lets her know a little bit later was going to, unless you'd rather not. So there's the out. There's the, unless you don't want your abuser to come by. She's like, no, of course I do. Yeah, of course. Yeah, come on by. It's kick shit around.
Yeah.
No, of course I do. Was just checking. And so then a little bit later, 6:18 p.m. He is en route.
Yep.
And then she wants him to let her know that he's there. He does. And this is when we have the security footage. Now we've seen this security footage. I guess ideally I could have pulled this up.
Yeah, let's do it. Pull it up.
So here we are. Here's the this is from Law and Crime, who just did the mass amount of coverage during the trial.
Yeah, they sure did.
And this is just to kind of cut away. It says this camera says 6:55.
Yep.
And if we're gonna, here they are coming in. Text, he says here at 6:58. And so here's the 6-minute discrepancy. So over here, some of these, like the mezzanine cameras and the front desk camera, there's a 6-minute drag in it. So if this says over here 6:55, almost 6:56, we've got a roughly, that's why it's actually 7:02 because of that.
Right.
That whole thing.
So, yep. So the cameras are actually behind by 6 minutes.
Behind by 6 minutes, correct.
Yeah.
Oh, the elevator, it's pretty dead on. The elevator is. So this is a slow-mo for some reason. So now we've got the 7:02 of them getting in, and that's why we know it's a 6-minute delay, or it's 6 minutes behind, because it's right around the corner. This mezzanine lobby area going into the elevators, it's like a 10-second walk.
Yes. So up we go.
We can actually scan ahead because we're gonna scrub. Yep. Enhance. It's a nice jacket, actually. I like that jacket.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yes.
Go to bed.
I'll never live it down.
Nope.
It was my one shot to impress, and it didn't.
Oh my God, it was
okay, so look at that. I hate myself.
No,
I'm kidding.
I know.
Here we go. I love myself.
Yep. So here's these guys. They arrive at the Eastern Building, head up to the condos, and then this is where Sean Bett says that they kind of like get Johnny settled in Penthouse 3, make sure everything's okay, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So then the conversation starts, right? So Johnny is going to essentially he's going to pick up some stuff.
Yes.
I mean, like he's going to pick up some, I don't know if you want to call them valuables, but like the keepsake stuff. The marriage
it's over
at this point is over. I mean,
over.
and I think both parties agree that it's coming to an end, and this is potentially the last time.
Oh yeah.
Amber knows the last time she's going to be in the same room, in the same area, general vicinity as Johnny. So, which I think plays into the idea that it was a hoax and just this like on the fly, like get all we can get out of this night,
right?
To use, it's why the lawyer was on speed dial and everything.
Yeah.
So, so they settle in, and he's upstairs. He's gathering things. Amber does not follow. At no point in any of her testimony, she doesn't follow him upstairs. Just lets him gather his things. And at some point, they start having a conversation. And initially, if you recall, in 2016, the conversation was he was talking about the passing of his mother, which was literally the day before.
The day before, yes.
And that Johnny became delusional about something he thought had happened. And for the longest time, we had no idea what that was.
Yep.
And now we know that it was the
grumpy in the bed.
The grumpy in the bed from a month prior.
Yes.
To the day. And
man, it's interesting to look back because we know even Amber knew that was like the end of it, because we've got there's that message from her to Io talking about how she knows it's over and all that stuff.
We're gonna go over that at some point.
Yeah, we sure
I can't.
Are.
We're gonna go over that, and everyone's gonna get to see that because that's an interesting email exchange.
Sure
happening.
Is.
Oh boy.
Just after Coachella. Yep.
I love when I forget about that stuff, and you're like, "Hey, remember that thing?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yep.
The world needs to see that.
Yep.
And
that's why
they do, and they will. That's a really interesting thing. So yeah, she knew it was over coming into that.
It was over.
And she knew it by the time she went to Coachella, which was the day after, the day that the grumpy was left.
Yes.
She already knew it was over because she's basically telling everyone on that trip, and she's that it's over, and that this whole trip is just about her and her problems. It's a really good email exchange. It's a really good email exchange. Can't wait for y'all to see it. We'll do a whole thing on it.
We'll do a whole thing.
We might do that in a live or something, because that would be interesting to go over.
Yeah, I agree.
So they're talking about the poop in the bed, because Johnny had made it aware they had not seen each other, and she'll tell you they had not seen each other since then. But at some point she is talking through text, and that's when he sends her the picture.
Yep.
And like, you want to tell me what this is about? And that's when she realizes, oh no, like people took pictures of it. And so that was in the couple of weeks leading up to this. So she knows it's over. It's confirmed it's over. He's just coming to get some stuff. And so
not strong.
One of the people that she called. So May 12th is a pretty interesting day.
Yes.
If you recall, May 12th is kind of like this day that she's scrambling, and we'll have to find this because I know it exists. I know all of this exists out there. I'm pretty sure it's in. I think she tried to call Starling Jenkins. He did not take her phone call, right. and said that she'd be calling from an unknown number for some reason. Like, hey, I'm going to call you from a burner.
Yeah.
And no. I need you to answer this phone call. And he's just like, nah, I'm good. And she does contact Kevin Murphy, and that's when she tells him that it is a a
The
harmless
harmless
prank.
prank.
That's when she tells him it's a harmless prank, because she's trying to find out. She's trying to basically track down who she's got to kill.
Yes.
For ratting on her.
Yeah.
And this comes out. You'll see this in her deposition too, because you and I are about to just we're about to show some stuff in the coming weeks and everything else. But she's basically telling on herself about who do I got to kill? Yep. Like who I want to find the connecting dots of who sent it to who took it, who sent it to who, and this chain of command that finally found its way to Johnny's telephone.
Exactly.
So they're having this conversation, and that's why they call Kevin Murphy, because Kevin Murphy is the one person that she was able to talk to and try to explain this away. At the time, all she knew to do was say it was a harmless prank.
Yeah.
So she hadn't got her story straight on what she was going to call it, what she was going to do to try to get away with it. Mm-hmm. So she just tells Kevin Murphy it's a harmless prank, and they get Kevin Murphy on the phone at 7:46, and they use JD's phone to do it. And a couple minutes later, I'm assuming this is during the phone call with Kevin Murphy. All of this, Amber Heard starts trying to call her assistant, Savannah McMillan.
All this stuff about the grumpy in the bed, she's trying to get other people to like back her up.
Correct.
That's she's what I think, to be like, no, so you're crazy. Don't be delusional, blah.
And for the record, these are people who went to Coachella with her.
Correct.
These are people that she can call to say whether she met them there or whether they rode with her. She can call and say, hey, tell Johnny he's, crazy. He's crazy, basically. Yeah. I need you to help me gaslight Johnny real quick.
Yeah.
So she calls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and none of these last more than 7 seconds, which means it rings. No one answers. And she tries that over the course of roughly 10 minutes. And I assume that's the entire time that she's talking to Kevin Murphy. If we remember Kevin Murphy's testimony, I don't have it here to pull up. If we want to find it, we can find it and plug it in later.
Yeah.
But I remember him saying that she basically called and was like screaming when they had him on the phone, Johnny and Amber, that Amber was basically just screaming and cussing at him.
Yes.
Calling him a liar. And he's just like, no, you said that. That's what you told me. You said it was a prank. And she's calling him a liar.
To the point where like Johnny eventually says something like, hey, don't talk to him like that.
Yeah, Johnny steps in and says you're not going to, talk to him, and I think even apologizes on her behalf to Kevin. And so I say that happens, that conversation is ended by 8:00 because you have Kevin Murphy texting Sean Dead asking if that sweets her.
Yep.
Then in that same minute that conversation's over, you have according to Io till it writes contemporaneous email. What happened at 8 p.m. Amber texted me and asked me to call her.
Well, we don't have that text.
We don't have that. I think we do have that. We do have the text, but I don't think it happens when she says it later. Happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, here we go. So it's over. The conversation's over at least by 8:02.
Yep.
Because this is when she's done yelling at him. She's done, verbalizing it. So now she's going to put it in text form. I am shocked. What have I ever done to you? How could you say that? I didn't crap in your bed.
Exactly.
I never expected such a thing for you. I never told you I had anything to do with it. Isn't that funny? Okay, so that strikes me. Just in this moment, I'm realizing that strikes me as a little odd. I never told you I had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And remember, remember, there's somebody that is rumored to have had a very heavy hand in this.
Yes.
And someone who has deleted and changed location tags of not even in Los Angeles and all that stuff.
Yep.
and someone who would very much like to have played hero in that moment, and like, hey, let's stick it to him because I'm still mad at him and everything else. It's IO. And so
hint, hint, nudge,
hint,
nudge.
hint, wink, wink. I never told you I had anything to do with it, which means that it was an action.
Well,
Something that happened. I didn't have anything to do with it. Doesn't mean there was dog poop in the bed and I just didn't know about it. That means something was decided.
Yes.
There was something that was decided to be done, and Amber's just trying to, like, what is it, the word, absolve herself.
Correct.
Of any blame.
Oh, well, I mean, the usual, just shifting blame all over fucking creation.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was, the one-armed man.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. Fugitive. And I love that I have to like feel like, Brian, they don't need to hear the film catalog you're quoting.
Oh, dude.
I never. And then she said, I never said anything like that to you, and you know it. I just can't understand what you have against me that would make you lie against me in such a way. I don't understand, Kevin.
Lies.
I really don't. Everybody lies. Everybody's out to get Amber. She's a perpetual victim. She was like, like mugged and like held hostage at knife point in some South American city, and she somehow just got back in time for drinks. Remember that story?
Yeah. And Adam assaulted her with a newspaper.
And Adam assaulted her with just like like rolled it up and just like hit her. Like, no, not on the carpet.
Like
not on the carpet.
Not on the bed. Not on the bed. Amber.
Not on the bed, Amber. Bad
Goodness.
Amber. We still got to try to get in touch with Savannah somewhere.
Oh goodness.
Somewhere through this, she eventually does ask. There we go.
There it is.
So she's like trying to get Savannah. She's trying to get Savannah.
It's desperate.
It's desperate. Now she's like, so she's in desperation mode to just try to appease, like, John, just to try to get him to like to get. I need as many people as I can to help gaslight this man.
Yes.
And so Savannah's not answering. She texts Rocky, and this is the infamous. This is the 806.
Yeah, come over.
Can you come over? Text.
Yep.
And then she also sends a text to IO. So this is the IO text when she said about 8 o'clock. So it's actually about 8:08.
Right.
She says,
"Call me please."
Call me please. And call me please. And all right, so anything we want to like kind of jump off and touch on here?
Well, this whole thing is going to get a lot more interesting with the "can you come over" and now.
Yeah, so
aside
like
from
this...
the 4-minute delay in response there, that is going to get real interesting in a little while.
Yeah. So keep in mind there's a 4-minute delay here, where she just says now. So it's like, one, it just like flies in the face of Amber's testimony initially in her deposition.
Yes.
In 2016, when she was like, and I needed a third party present because he was getting riled up, and I was like, could you please come over because Johnny's getting out of control? It's like, that's not what you did at all. You were just literally like, can you come over?
Yes.
Can you come over?
Come over.
Just now. Casual. Can you come over? And she's like, now?
Yes, now.
She finally does get, so a minute later, after that, now, she does get IO on the phone. The first call lasts 23 seconds.
Yep.
And the second call lasts 3.5 minutes roughly.
Yep.
And goes until 2:15. And these are all on phone records. This did happen. So this is the phone call that she alleges that Johnny was like chewing IO out.
Oh,
and
correct.
Everything.
Yes.
And this is actually the phone call that is happening when Amber claims all the physical assault.
Yeah.
Happened as well. So for those not familiar, everyone's familiar with it.
Yes. Everyone's familiar.
This is when Amber claims that anywho, this is when Amber claims that Johnny wound up like snatched the phone out of her hand and wound it up like a baseball pitcher and just threw it right at her face. from however many, like 6 to 10 feet away.
Correct.
And she just looked at it while it smashed her in the side of the eye. And this is what she's like, and it hit me in the eye, and she can't even remember which eye it is. She's in court,
remember.
like, and it hit me right in the eye, and it was this one.
Yep. Yep.
So all this happened during that time. What's interesting is Raquel should have been present for this.
Yeah.
By Raquel's own testimony, said that in less than a minute from receiving the text message, 206 or 2006, in less than a minute she was in the penthouse, and all this stuff had already happened. But in reality, if she entered even a minute from the now text, she's present for this entire conversation. She's present.
Right. Exactly.
So is she present and not
unaccounted
quite
for?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She's not quite there.
Yes.
But she is in spirit. And which I think that's gonna start to that gray, that fog is gonna start to lift as we go through this.
It sure is.
Because this whole conversation happens and IO is not privy to Raquel's presence.
Right.
And if Raquel entered in the amount of time she says she did, IO should very much be aware of Raquel's presence, because Raquel claims straight away entered and was like shoving Johnny away and like yelling at him, "Stop it, Johnny." And IO never says that a third voice is present, that there's someone else standing up to Johnny or anything like that.
Did not hear Raquel yelling at Johnny.
Never heard any of that.
Right.
Never heard any of that, which means Raquel was around for this, but not. Because we have IO texting Raquel, "Are you at Eastern? JD attacking Amber. She told me to call 911. I'm doing it."
Yeah.
And then we do have the phone call. We have
the 911
the 911 phone call, the first one where she says, "I'm doing it," and text Amber and says calling 911.
Yeah.
And this is the one that she makes. IO at the time was in New York, and she called 911, which put her through to New York, and then New York had to make
patch it to LAPD.
Patch it through to LAPD. And this is where we get the first set of officers, Signs and Haddon, showing up from that phone call.
Yep.
So now we have Kevin Murphy. This is interesting. We have Kevin Murphy. The last we heard from Kevin Murphy was when she had texted Kevin Murphy here. Ago. Yeah, about 15 minutes. About 15 minutes when she's like telling him how dare you, how could you,
how dare you
rat me out for the poop. So he texts Amber at 8:20, and again, this is after all this has gone down. Raquel would have had to have entered, security would have had to have entered, and they said Johnny wasn't in there long, basically saying, I didn't touch her. He's 20 feet away from her at this point.
Right.
I didn't touch her. She's crazy. And then they just tell him, "Hey, let's just get out of here." Right. And he says, Kevin Murphy tells Amber, says, "Look, first of all, I did not even go directly to Jay about our conversation. He was told by someone else, and then he questioned me days later, so I had to answer. And I had no knowledge of any of yours and Jay's conversation about the incident, so it doesn't even make sense for me to just make something up. Furthermore, at the time, I didn't even think it was a big deal that was being described as a prank. Like, he just saw it as like, yeah, well, that's one hell of a prank, but okay, that's how you're describing it. If I was going to fabricate something, it would certainly be better than that. I merely answered his questions without any malice or intention of hurting you or him, for that matter." And then we've got this response. We get all the pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
We got this response. This is interesting. You want to read this one? You want to fire this one away?
I will fire away. So, this text from Amber to Kevin: "You literally told Johnny in front of me that I told you it was a prank, and now you want to explain. How could you? That was a complete lie, and you know it. You cannot look me in the eye and tell me we had that conversation. I can't believe you. What did I ever do to you? Something
Again,
interesting about this text is just to the left, you will see that it is time unknown.
time unknown. So I'm gonna because you need to show this, don't you?
I surely do.
So I need to stop share. There we go.
There we go. And yeah. Now I'm gonna share. So that time and that text is no longer unknown.
Boom.
So what we have here is the actual text from Mr. Murphy, and you'll have to take our word for it that these screenshots were taken in the central time zone.
Yeah,
and you'll
confirm that.
see in the image on the right, there's a timestamp that says 11:01 p.m. And that converted to Pacific Standard Time is 9:01 p.m. So all that happens in the apartment, all the back and forth and the texting with Io and Raquel and all this and that. And apparently, allegedly, a whole lot of carnage happens.
Right.
But at 9 p.m., Amber decides she gotta go rip Kevin Murphy a new one over this.
Right in the middle of all this, Josh
Drew, of all this,
everyone testifying that that this woman was just like catatonic, inconsolable, just a mess. Right. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a breather.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 minutes. I'm gonna catch my breath.
But get right back to you on that.
I'll get right back to this trauma. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take a paragraph and I'm just gonna go off on this dude that ended my marriage.
Oh my God.
Like absolutely, yeah, just traumatized. Minutes later, she's like, go f yourself.
Yep.
Like
instantly. She's like, nope, hold on. I got to get back to you first.
Yeah, exactly. And
before I can continue my hoax, I got to get this guy.
I got a lot of people to tell off.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Because you have to remember too, this is while she's also sending texts to her parents.
Yes.
Again, traumatic.
Yes.
She's traumatized. She's catatonic. And she's sending texts to her parents being like, if you ever talk to him again, don't you dare reach out to get his side of this. So help me God. I'll disown you.
Help me God.
I'll disown you. Like she's basically telling her parents off and saying like, don't ever talk. If you ever talk to him again, I swear to God, I'm done with you.
Right.
She's going ahead and getting ahead of that. And so, yeah, she was really, really, really in a bad way right here. Clearly, like you can just hear, you can feel the sorrow. You can feel the sorrow behind this text message.
Yeah, nah, what she was angry at everybody who sold her out on the grumpy in the bed.
Yeah. She was, and
that's
and
what all that is about.
Exactly. And she's telling her parents off because she knows that her parents knows, they know exactly who she is.
Yes.
So they she knows if they talk to Johnny, which they did, by the way, that they would get his side and they would empathize with him a little bit.
Right.
Like they would be like, yeah, we know she's a little bit, off.
A little off kilter.
A little off kilter, just a little off centered.
A smidge.
And so yeah, that's that's that.
That is that.
So that's that. Which and so we're gonna read some stuff too that makes you think that Amber was very much the aggressor this evening and stuff that plays into that, and there will be some speculation to it. It's really not a lot though, because because in terms of speculation, it's just an ounce in an ocean of actual like stuff that's going to back this up of facts and everything, and their own statements over the course of years, their own ever evolving, changing statements, many of them coming from Amber herself, that makes you think, yeah, she was very much the aggressor. What do we want to go back to? So if we go back in order, closing statements, you want me to share my screen again? Yes, sir. Okay. So we know now this to be can I draw this? I can do this. I think I can.
I believe you can.
Oh, look at that. Right through it. So this is actually 2101. Was it?
The which one?
I mean, I know it's like it. So the text message.
Yes. 2101.
Yeah.
2101. Yeah.
2101. So it actually came after all of these.
All
so after she's she goes, which makes it funnier.
It does
makes
make it
all the more ridiculous. I don't want to say funny because I mean we're talking about abuse, but like it does make it just like this ridiculous.
It's funny because it's
hysterical thing because it's fake. It's so fake to see that like she gets this text from Kevin. She ducks away. Johnny's still there, by the way. Johnny's still in the building. At this point, Johnny's in. This is when she says Johnny's in Penthouse 5, destroying everything. The
beads, for the love of God, the beads.
The beads. She destroyed. He basically went in there, was just like tip. If he even did that, I'm inclined to think that he didn't even do that. I think he went in there and said, "You guys are out. Like y'all are out. You're like get out of my penthouse.
Everybody get out.
Everybody out. Free ride's over."
Yeah.
And so then we have Raquel telling Io to call.
Yep.
Everything's phone calls now. It's funny how much everything turns to phone calls now. We have this first, again, with the metadata around these and when these were taken, who freaking knows? Because we found out that so much stuff was like tampered with, and the filters, like we don't know if this is an original or was this like red light filtered on the face. Like we have no idea.
I mean, the ones that they showed at trial was the exact same damn photo.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, all these photos are messed with, and
every one of them
we just know. Yeah, exactly.
So here's the interesting thing. So we have I'll tell it right. Calls Raquel Pennington. It lasts 2 minutes.
Yes.
So long enough to have a conversation. This wasn't just the phone ringing.
Right.
And then right after that, we have Io calling Lauren Shapiro. Phone call lasts 2 minutes. And then we have the 2 minutes after that. So that lasts 2 minutes. And then we have the immediate phone call to 911.
Yes.
Coming after that.
Yes.
If you've seen my video, I theorized that this second phone call to 911 could be Raquel's.
Right.
Because I don't have it pulled up. I wish I had the 911 call pulled up, but it's also got that annoying like pinging throughout it. That is just, I don't know why that's in there.
It's that voice.
And that voice keeps coming up with like the date and time every 5 seconds. So if anyone remembers that phone call, and we can link this somehow or whatever to that video, and it's one of two things. It is one, not Lauren Shapiro, and
I'm not inclined. I'm not inclined to say it's Lauren because we already know that she was at because watching Silence of the Lambs. She was
at an outdoor movie experience, and the lady that makes the second phone call, she talks about being upstairs and like in the building, like she's there in the building. Downstairs. I'm sorry. Yeah. She talks about being downstairs.
Yeah.
And that it's happening right then and there and everything else. Yep. It is interesting that this second 911 call does happen after Raquel's phone call.
Yes.
With I'll tell it right.
Yeah.
Which means, the theory that it could be Raquel because Raquel is in the building. It does sound a lot like Raquel. And that she's saying it's happening right now, and she's being very just like uncooperative there.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get the cops there. Makes sense. But that's the second phone call because we eventually do have the first set of officers show up.
Yes.
Then we've got this. So now we have like block numbers starting to call again. IO receives a telephone call from a block number. The call lasts 2 minutes. So this was not, I didn't answer it. It was spam. It was whatever.
Right,
No, a
right.
conversation was had with somebody for a solid 2 minutes. And that's a long time to get some stuff going.
It is.
At 8:29. So while all these phone calls are happening, Johnny's still in the building, but he's making his way to the elevator. And then we have this footage here.
Which is him going back down the elevator.
Which this is him going back down.
No wine bottle.
So
no carnage.
You know what's interesting is I want to time this one day.
Yeah.
On the way up, it's slow. It's almost like they're trying to like. This is how her team submitted it. By the way, on the way up, it's like super slow, and on the way down, it's sped up. It's sped up, so it makes him look like. Like he's really pissed. You know, like that's. Which I mean, he's clearly upset, but they're trying to paint this picture of like, look at him. He's just like all over the place, bouncing off the walls. So, and here's we'll go back to this. So they leave, and then we do, so we see them going through the whole process of leaving.
Right.
We have the initial phone call, LAPD incident report, and the audio call between LAPD. So we have like two things happening. We have the LAPD getting the second phone call from 911 from the local call, and then we have the NYPD relaying the initial call from IO.
Yes.
We have a text from IO to Raquel at 8:36. Does she have her phone with her? And Raquel says, yeah, she's talking to her lawyer.
Boom.
So she is talking to her lawyer on the phone.
Confirmed.
Samantha
Spector,
her divorce lawyer.
Yeah.
The one you can see Samantha in the video of Amber leaving the courthouse in LA when she's getting the TRO that Samantha's with her. So she's talking to her lawyer already talking to her lawyer. And this leads into another statement. So if we go back to Adam's statement.
Yeah. They got their story together with a publicist
and
a lawyer.
Yeah, we got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist.
Yeah.
And I'm inclined to believe that because all this communication was happening, and that's why a second call got made to 911 when it did.
Yes.
Just minutes, literally just minutes before this, we had that second call to 911.
Yeah.
It's why we don't have any communication between Amber and anyone. It's all between like Raquel. It's Amber. It's Samantha Spector on speaker.
Yes.
Telling everyone to do stuff. It was like, hey, you've got to make sure the cops come. Don't give a statement, but make sure the cops come. And here's why. Make sure the cops come, because if
don't make a report, don't make a false police report. Yeah.
But if we at least have it on record that the cops showed up, boom.
Yes.
We have a much better a chance of getting this TRO or this DVRO, because it's like, look, the cops even had to come. Because if you make a report, now you're filing a false police report. They actually have to investigate it. But no, all you need is for them to show up. Make sure they show up. That's why it's all like, are they coming? Are they coming? Why are you so concerned with them showing up at all if the entire time you know you're not going to say anything?
Right. And Johnny's long gone.
You know you're already being instructed to not say anything, but yet you're being told to make sure they come.
Right.
Because that looks good on a TRO to be like, hey, the cops came.
Yeah.
The cops came. We've got a 911 call about it. The cops
came. And now, I mean, thanks to the trial, we got Laurel Anderson outing her, saying, would I have an advantage in the divorce if I claim domestic violence?
Yeah. So we have that all the way back in December 2015. December of 2015. An interesting theory on that we could do a whole thing on.
Yeah, we could do a whole thing on that. But which we also now found out from. Go ahead.
No, just to echo your point of would I have an advantage if I claimed domestic violence? Would I have an advantage in the divorce that she knew was already coming?
Yeah, she knew it was coming. And secondarily, we know from Laura Wasser that Johnny retained her way back then. So that something was going on. I mean, we know what was going on because there was an incident in December, but
yeah, but
a lot
she knew
bigger something was going on other than just what happened on December 15th.
Exactly. She knew right then that was her, like, the inroad. We're hitting the inroad now.
Yes.
And
yes.
I have got to start figuring this out, like heavily figuring this out. That's why in the TRO, the things mentioned were the last 3 attacks of Amber on Johnny.
Yes.
December 2015,
yes.
April 2016, and May 2016. She just took those last 3 attacks that she knew were like the last 3 straws and flipped everything.
Right.
Because she knew she had to.
There's another interesting anecdote about this weekend too, but we'll get there a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah. So she's talking to the lawyer. Okay, the cops have her number. Are they indeed coming? Calling when they arrive. Like, this is Raquel still trying to figure out, like, we have to make sure they're coming. The whole time Samantha Spector's on the phone with these people. The entire time. Samantha's like, make sure the cops come. Are they coming? Are they coming? And then she said they are on their way. They said, okay, probably not going to call. I told them Penthouse 3, so maybe tell the door guy to call you when they're downstairs coming up. So they get all that sorted out. Keep me posted, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
I'm ignoring these to Bruce Witkin. It's just Johnny having a conversation about how he's confirming that he's going to break up with Amber, by the way.
Yes.
Which all it does is just bolster his testimony.
Right. So here's when Josh goes back downstairs.
Oh, this is fascinating. This is this is really fascinating. You want to do the jumping off point, or you want me to run right into it?
I just go, keep running straight through the wall, Juggernaut. Okay. It's all you.
I don't mean to like hog
because I'm all like sniffly and my voice is weird.
No, you're fine. If we'll record this entire thing over again if we have to.
If we have to, gotta do what we gotta do.
We'll do what we gotta do. Get you feeling better first.
Yeah, I'm good.
So Josh Drew receives a phone call from Jerry Judge. And this is a statement from Josh Drew. As Johnny had left his phone there and Jerry wanted me to bring it down for him to pick up, I told him not to pull into the complex and that I would meet him at the front door, and we had a verbal confrontation in the process of handing off the phone. Bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and read this and then I guess we back it up. So see also his deposition, page 214 to 216. So when Josh gave a deposition in 2019, says that Josh got a call on his cell phone from Jerry Judge saying something like, the boss left his cell phone. Do you have it? And I said, yeah, I have it in my hand. And Josh said that Jerry told him, we're coming back to get it. And Josh responded, you can come back to get it, but you don't fucking set foot in this building. Like, Josh owns the place now.
Blah, blah.
And I will meet you outside. Josh met them right out front of the Eastern Columbia on Broadway. He says that at this point, Jerry Judge asked him, is she okay? And Josh responded, are you fucking kidding me? He beat the shit out of her again. You guys stood by and watched it. Josh has no clue what happened, by the way.
He has no clue.
He has no clue. He's not no firsthand knowledge, nothing. He witnessed nothing. Josh says
himself in Penthouse 1.
Yeah. Josh says that Jerry Judge responded, it's not my business. It's between husband and wife. He barely touched her. So here we go. So here we've got Josh going down. Now, if you recall, and again, this is something we can plug in, we can graphically plug this in later. That there's something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, we'll put the exact thing in here, that Raquel testified, and I'm pretty sure it was Raquel, that Josh was downstairs waiting on the cops to get there.
The cops, yes.
The cops, yeah. So that Josh was waiting on the cops to get there. that's what took him downstairs.
Right.
Lie.
He went to
Now,
take Johnny's
that's
phone
not
down.
that's not a lie on Raquel's part. That's not giving her credit. I'm just saying,
No,
Josh.
sure,
I don't think Josh told them why he was going downstairs, or he said, "I'm going to go down and see if the cops are here."
Yeah.
In reality, Amber is on the phone with her lawyer at this point. They're getting instructions. They're making the second phone call to 911.
The hoax is
Raquel is like texting
blooming.
IO saying, "Are they coming? Are they not? Like what the what the F?" So the hoax is it's starting to blossom. It's starting to take shape a little bit. Like it's a messed up shape, but like it's a shape nonetheless.
It's a messed up shape.
During this whole
kind of
this whole thing, exactly. Yeah, it's just like just slinking its way through.
Oh, God.
So like it's starting to like Cronenberg. What is it? Cronenberg. This is shape. So it's starting to take that like really mutated shape.
Yes.
Josh gets a phone call during that time. It's Jerry Judge, and I think Josh was very much not a friendly, but neutral. A neutral to what was going on, because he's seen Amber at her worst. If you go back and find his testimony, where he says that she took all those drugs that she would regularly take, and let me see if I can get these all right.
Yeah, this is just speculation because we have nothing one way or the other on this, but between what Rocky says about Josh going downstairs and just a couple things, it's just like
something's not adding up. And Josh had seen her at her worst, and it makes me think that this conversation with Jerry went a lot differently. Otherwise, why not say, "Hey, I'm going downstairs to take."
I don't even think there really was a conversation. Johnny left his phone. Okay, I'll bring it down.
Johnny left his phone. Okay, I'll bring it down. Here you go. I got it. Because he goes, does it even have him going down, or does it just show him?
I think it just shows him in the lobby.
It just shows him in the lobby walking down. So he goes down. He's on the phone for a few minutes on his way down. Yeah, I'll bring it down. He had seen Amber at his worst. He had testified that when she would take all these drugs like LSD, mushrooms, cocaine, all this stuff. Yeah. And Josh testified that she would take that. And he said that sometimes, she was fine. She was happy-go-lucky. And then other times she was much darker.
Yes.
And he testified to that.
Yeah.
And so he probably goes down here and it's, I'm not saying probably, I'll say there's a chance he goes down here and he's like, "Hey, we're just trying to keep her calm. We're trying to settle things down. I don't know what the heck went on." He's probably being very, very passive with Jerry Judge. I guarantee you.
Yeah, that's probably
that it accurate. Probably didn't go exactly like this, because Jerry Judge has passed and can't speak for himself. So of course he's going to do this. And if you recall in Josh's testimony, he said words like, "Hey, that's none of my business. That's between them." And that's when it came down to like Io like slapping his wife around.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, that's got nothing to do with me. That's just between friends. It makes sense that Josh might say something like, "I don't know, this is between husband and wife. I don't know what's going on."
Yes.
He clearly wasn't going down to meet the officers, because while he's down there, he's handing the phone off and he's heading back up. The officers arrive. Officer Signs and Haddon actually arrive outside, and they radio that in that they were outside the building. Josh gets back on the elevator and goes right back up before the officers even walk in the building. So he went down for the sole purpose of just delivering Johnny's phone to Jerry, giving the phone back. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Let's see. Text from Amber Heard to Io Tillett. "Please, I did already. Are the cops not there?" So this is, they don't know, but the cops are on their way up.
They're on the way.
And at this point, the cops get there, and we do know that from testimony that this is why Josh is, and this is when Josh is in the hallway. Remember that basic looking white dude, like plain looking white dude or whatever.
Yeah, and also while she's, "Please, where the cops, blah blah blah," this is exactly when she goes and tears Kevin Murphy up.
Oh yes, good point. Yes, very good point. So
Right here. This is
right
just
here.
a classic, another example of her with these triangulating ridiculous ass conversations. You
Yep.
get this thing, you get the
Yep.
other thing. I need to yell at you for a minute. You know, like,
yeah,
damn.
yeah. Like the cops need to get here. You take this, you take that. I need you to deal with this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
dude.
cussing this. I'm gonna be cussing this dude out. I can't believe I'm having to deal with this. Like she's more stressed that she has to deal with this.
Literally that exact minute. It's
exactly
literally that exact minute. 9:01 p.m.
9:01 p.m. This very minute when she's texting, please, I did. Are they not there? She says no.
That's just
all the while
crazy.
She's blasting off a paragraph.
That's just
like in the same breath, she's blasting off a paragraph. Like just
where are the cops? Hey Kevin, F you.
Yeah, exactly. Where are the cops? Oh, it's basically the stress of having to deal with the fallout of being busted, and she doesn't like that.
Right.
Meanwhile, Josh is just like, oh Jesus. Fuck man, they said they were on their way, IO says. And then we have IO saying have Josh call because when I do it, they have to patch it through to LA. It'll be faster if someone's local and they say it's an assault underway. Now, this right here, we are 30 plus minutes removed from the second 911 call. We are already 30 plus minutes removed from the phone call to Lauren Shapiro.
Correct. So didn't she already have someone local call?
Wouldn't IO already, why would IO saying, hey, I need someone local to call, have someone local call?
Right.
Here's again, speculation backed by evidence.
Yes.
That phone call before Lauren Shapiro to Rocky was like, someone local has to call, someone local has to call. That was IO's conversation with Rocky.
Yes, I agree.
Someone local has to call, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean she didn't call Lauren Shapiro to try to get Lauren Shapiro to call 911, but that doesn't mean Lauren Shapiro did it.
Right.
Lauren may have been like, hey, I'm at a thing.
I'm not doing this.
I'm not calling and saying there's an assault happening if I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So then Rocky
very smart
reluctantly, after having that conversation, Rocky very reluctantly calls 911, which is why you have that tone in that 911 call where she's like, oh God, she sounds like she's like
because
ordering
probably
a pizza.
Yeah, totally. Because worse, probably Samantha Spector already told them like, oh, don't make a report, don't do this, don't do that. So Rocky's trying to cover her own ass. Like, I don't want to tell you who I am. Let me remain anonymous.
Yeah.
There's an assault. I don't know. I just know it's happening. And okay, I have to go now.
Yeah, she's so over it. She's so annoyed that she has to make this phone call, but she makes it. And IO probably doesn't know that she makes that phone call because all this stuff is scrambling and they're not really keeping IO in the loop, right?
Right.
So now that IO's got a direct line to Amber, IO's preaching this thing to Amber about someone local has to make this call. Like Lauren wouldn't make it. I talked to Raquel. She acted like she didn't want to make it, unbeknownst to IO.
Right.
Raquel did make the phone call, but IO doesn't know this. So she's like, look, Raquel wouldn't make the phone call. Have Josh call. Why is she saying have Josh call? Have Josh call because when I do, they have to patch it through because she didn't know that Raquel had already reluctantly made that phone call.
Already did it.
Yep. Yeah, Raquel didn't want to. Raquel told IO, I don't want to. This is stupid because it's a setup. I was in the closet. Like, I don't want to do this. Yep. But so that's why she says have Josh do it. And she's telling Amber directly because she hasn't heard back from Raquel. She doesn't know that Raquel made that second phone call to 911. Right. All speculation based on 100% facts and evidence.
Yeah.
We've got these hallway photos, which again, metadata, who knows when these were taken.
Right. These guys.
Because all of them have been screwed with. We have the second set of officers actually getting on the elevator and going up at this point. And this is at 9:04. This is minutes after they're like, are they coming? Are they coming? Are they not coming?
Yeah. So
F you, Kevin.
Yeah. And by the way, yeah. So here's the first coppers.
The first coppers. Let's actually watch this. Here they are.
Let's bust that out. Here they are.
So this is This is Officer Tyler Haddon.
Yep.
And this is Melissa Sines.
Yep.
And they're heading in, and we have the timestamp down here. You can see is 8:58. However, that is 6 minutes off, so we're looking at 8:04.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So they talk to this lady, because you'll see when she walks her to the elevator.
Yes.
The time will jump quite a bit, and the elevators are literally right there.
Yep.
What did we miss? Did we miss some going up?
Nothing. It just started like fading. Oh no, this is the second set of officers.
Oh, yeah. These are the second set. This is the second set of officers. So actually, we don't. Man, sometimes this is not all the elevator footage. Correct. Oh well, we have this at least. We have them getting on the elevator and getting off, and we know that is 9:04.
Yep.
They get there.
Anything?
Oh yeah, IO's still out of the loop.
IO's totally out of the loop.
Keep me posted. Will do. Crickets.
Radio silence.
Yeah.
So
love you.
Bye.
Bye. Totally won't keep you in the dark on this.
Okay, bye. Exactly.
Just static.
Mute.
So they are there. They arrive at 04, and then they're leaving. The 916 is the business card saying she didn't want to give a statement, but they're like, hey, thanks for coming. This is going to come in handy for when we show up to the courthouse in a few days.
Right.
And so all that happens. Josh Drew shows them out, and this is him shaking their hand and them leaving. See you later. Thanks, lady. Then they take pictures of the thing, because I guarantee you, Spectre's probably saying like, hey, we need proof.
Yes.
We need proof that the cops showed up.
Yes.
Take pictures of the business card.
Man, like the craziest thing is that it's not even this night that is so interesting. It's the next 3 days.
The next couple of days at least.
Yeah.
So we got these pictures, and we already know that these are like altered.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Because here's a good shot of
them.
I'll get back to that text message. It's like you have
crackhead.
Anyway, but you have this one. This like the one she said was like the same photo or two different photos. One was with the light on, one was not with the light on, and they're the exact same photos. I saw someone on YouTube do the like they just like put them over each other.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Like every hair is in the exact same place.
Exact same photo. Ridiculous nonsense.
And this, I'll read this text while she's away. I'll read this text from JD. This is
I'm here. It's just click there. I'm here.
This is a group. No, it's fine. So this is funny because this is interesting because
I like how I put my little icon friend up there when it's.
I like that. That is pretty cool. You and Brew. This is a group text from like Johnny to everybody.
Yes.
From Amber to Amber, Raquel, and Josh. We said that was it. The last encounter forever. You were already ready for the strike, which means like, she was like, he's already thinking this. Why wouldn't Adam also think it? It's very much like it's very much a setup. Like he shows up, they goad him, they make fun of him. Like he testified that Raquel, that Io and Amber were like mocking him, like just trying to get something out of him. So I guarantee you they weren't like, I swear to God, Johnny, it wasn't, I don't know what that poop. They were probably like, you dumb mother, like they were probably mocking the heck out of him, trying to get any kind of reaction out of him because again, Amber was probably recording the whole thing.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
So he said you were already ready to strike. Why did they even come there in the first place? To be yelled at by you?
Right. There you go.
I'm an idiot. Penthouse 5 is Rocky's studio. You were shameless. I tried, which it was. Like the upstairs of Penthouse 5. The Penthouse 5, by the way, is the largest penthouse that he
Let's
owned.
pull up your little graphic. Let's go for a tour.
Let's go for a tour, right? I don't have the upstairs, but let's pull this up.
Okay.
So anyone who's seen it,
look at this thing of beauty, y'all. Look at this.
Look at this. So this is the penthouse, and it might be a little jittery. It's smooth on my screen, but I know it's gonna like be all jumpy and stuff.
Yeah. Sorry.
On the screen record. So what we have here is this is penthouse. This is penthouse 1.
Yep. Rocky and Josh's house.
This is Rocky and Josh's penthouse 1 right there.
Yep.
This is Isaac's. This is penthouse 2. Penthouse 3, the main living quarters of Amber. Penthouse 3.
Yep.
Penthouse 4. And penthouse 5. And this is the annex. This is where
this little space.
They said like the space where they would store wine and security would stay and just hang out. And you could actually access this from the hallway. This is the elevator. This is the elevator everybody gets off of. And you could access Penthouse 5's annex right there from the hall, straight out the elevator. You could access it also from within Penthouse 5. You could go out onto the balcony and access it that way. And then there's a stairwell in there. So the entirety of Penthouse 5, and I'll move this over. Downstairs was just full of Rocky's stuff.
Yep.
Full of stuff. And this is actually where
it was her bedazzling station.
This is where she bedazzled all those jean jackets. And this is where Josh and Liz and a dog were, Johnny said, when he arrived.
Right.
Before he went into Penthouse 3.
Yep.
And then the upstairs. If I can find there's a version of this where I have the upstairs attached to it, but we can worry about that later.
Yeah, that's all right.
Because nothing happens upstairs at this point except JD goes upstairs to get his stuff.
Right.
But yeah, this is what was being used. And let's go back to this thing.
Yeah.
This is when he's just telling her that he never loved it. He was merely convenient. This is him just completely breaking it off.
Yep. He's done.
Telling her goodbye, telling all of them goodbye. He's done. He's over. The picture frames. Jesus. The picture frames stacked up on the bed.
So stupid. Carnage.
It's so carnage. God. Wine spilled on everywhere but the rugs. Don't get it on the rugs. It's not
even everywhere. It's like a little dribble.
Yeah, it's like a dribble of it.
It's just on the floor. It's so stupid.
One for my homies.
Meanwhile, exactly. Meanwhile, Raquel's like, why was the overflow water?
Oh, it was everywhere. It was like glass everywhere, and the fruit baskets and the candelabras were
the fruit and the candles
and everything, and a statue was broken and everything was smashed, and there was wine on the walls and
my beads
and a hurricane came through.
Typhoon Depp. Yeah.
Oh, here's an interesting text. At 9:30, text from Elizabeth Morris to Raquel. Tell Josh to come here quickly if you're with him.
That's a real interesting text.
That's an interesting text to just figure out. Like, I thought they were all in there. Like, I know they said that.
Oh yeah, Elizabeth Morris said she ran away. Hiding, that she like ran the rat away. She is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like she ran away and that she was hiding out by the pool or something.
Scurried away. Yeah.
But this is a lot of time.
It is a lot of time
to pass that this is an hour after Johnny left, correct? Like this is 9:29. He left at 8:29.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Ish.
So that's an hour after Johnny left, and there finally is no one being like, where's Liz?
What, this chick was like hiding under the stairwell for an hour? Like,
Yeah,
no way,
come on,
dude.
come on. No, there's something up with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Amber calls IO at 10:05. Call lasts a couple minutes. Text air and board.
Yep.
Melanie. Oh, here's where some
Here's where
interesting stuff
Melanie.
starts happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melanie chimes in.
Yeah.
So here we've got
Isaac.
Isaac. Everybody remembers Isaac. Everybody loves Isaac.
Yes.
So Isaac testified that when he returned home, he saw the spilled wine in the hallway and on the walls. And that spilled wine was, if I can just take you back here.
And this
for a
is
second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isaac saw spilled wine.
We love
here.
the visuals.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just outside
the door of
Josh
Penthouse
and
1.
Rocky's Penthouse 1, just outside the door of Penthouse 1, Josh and Rocky's penthouse, he saw spilled wine in the floor and on the walls. And we've seen those pictures. We can put those pictures up here in post. But like,
and isn't it Johnny coming flying out of Penthouse 3, sloshing wine around like it's a champagne?
Yeah,
explosion.
Like he just won the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So he sees that. Now, we already have testimony from the first set of officers who they've left at this point. This is long after they left at 9:16. They left the car and they left and they didn't see any of that.
Nope.
And it would have been a lot more fresh at the time. Like it would have been more of a puddle and not
it would have been more noticeable
or anything. It would have been much more noticeable. Plus they said he was smashing stuff, and I know they didn't say they cleaned anything up before the first set of officers, or even that there was even any likelihood of it. And they said that in Amber's initial testimony that Johnny smashed another bottle in the hallway.
Yeah.
In her initial request for the restraining order, she said he smashed another bottle in the hallway, but there's no smashed bottle in the hallway.
Like kicked the door in and all this nonsense.
Oh my God, when she said there was still a hole in the door, that's there somewhere too. We can add that in. We'll find that little clip and just pop that in here and just like pause us and play that. The hole that's still in the door, that's still there. So then we have the second set of officers arriving. Isaac's going down the elevator. Him and Buddy are going down the elevator. And we have the second set of officers arriving.
Yep.
Let's see if this is on the old YouTube channel. It is.
Hey, here we go.
Hey.
Hey, Copernicus.
Hey, Copernicus.
Oh,
matriculate yourself to the back of the line and stand there with your shite.
Yeah.
So is this the second set of officers leaving?
Leaving.
Okay, so do we see them arrive, or is this there's Signs and Haddon, and then we see the second set of officers.
They don't actually have everything.
They don't actually have all of it up here. Fascinating, because I really want to find that, even if we like pause us and put it in post. I want to find that, because this jumps straight from Signs and Haddon.
Yeah.
Going to, and then we go straight from there to the second set of officers.
Right.
Whose names are escaping me.
Them
leaving. Okay. So.
All right.
We have the body cam footage.
Yeah, we sure do.
We have Isaac going down.
Yeah.
We have Isaac going down.
Yeah.
And sometime in that time,
10:28.
Yeah, 10:28. We have the other officers arriving. So here they are getting on the lift.
Yep.
And let's watch the body cam footage, shall we?
Let's check it out.
This is the second set of officers.
Yep.
And being taken to the lift, the elevator.
Up we go.
They get buzzed up.
Just like Elon.
Yep.
Bobbed up. I mean, you could read Trinity Esparza's testimony, witness statements from the UK. She talks all about Elon. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna. Do we want this? Are you getting that audio feed through?
No, I am not.
Okay, that was just on my side then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here they are. So for anyone that doesn't know, if I can just like, if you'll humor me for a second.
You shall be humored.
I shall be humored. So again, we have the elevator. They're getting off the elevator there, and they make a couple of turns. So they're going to come out of the elevator and they're going to go through that little door right there.
Right there.
And then they're going to come out there, hang a left, hang a right. When they hang that second right, that's when they should be seeing immediately. You should be able to see the wine, the spill on the wall. You should be able to see a dent and a dent and a hole in this door. There should be a puddle here. It should be here.
Yes.
Because Isaac will say that when he came back up, he saw it.
Right.
So let's go back to this thing. Yep. Oh wait, no, I want this.
Here we go.
So here they are. Right now, what you're looking at right now is this is that hallway before they hang that right. So you're looking at the door of Penthouse 5 right here.
Yep.
So you are looking at that door.
Boom.
Right there.
The visuals are so helpful.
Yeah, you're looking at that door.
Yep. Make it right.
Boom.
Boom. That's Penthouse 1.
Okay. So
that's on the right side is the entrance to Penthouse 1.
Yeah. Okay. So this right here.
Where is it?
Is that's Penthouse 1. So what you're looking at here, that's Penthouse 1.
Yep. Where's the wine?
That's it right there.
Yep.
There's no wine.
Nope.
There's no wine you didn't see it the entire way walking up. There's no wine still. There's no puddle. And again, Isaac confirmed, and the pictures confirm it too. Like if you look at the pictures, you can kind of see the beginning of this door and everything. If you look at the pictures of the hallway, it is literally right outside this door.
Yes.
And it is a puddle. Isaac even describes it as a puddle. Like it's maybe not a whole bottle, but it's a puddle, and it's on the walls and it's on the floor, and they're walking right past it. Also, there's no dent, there's no hole in this door.
Nope.
As you walk by. Do we want to watch this whole thing? And
no, we don't have to.
Okay, so they walk by. This is that was just one of the officers. Look at it. So these second set of officers go up, see nothing. You can see it for yourself. It's right here. There's a second body cam. It's literally just the same.
Yeah, the other guy.
It's the other guy. It's like walking behind him, but you get a really clear shot of this guy that's walking in front.
Yes.
So second set of officers, they go in, they have their conversation where no one asked, or no, they actually ask which one of you is Amber, and if she's beaten, and her face is, I think she tells Melanie that her face is like swollen red and stupid.
Oh yeah.
They're all just like, no, I'm fine. There's an interesting.
They're all drinking wine, sitting on the couch.
There's a really interesting thing that happens here. So Io, who they've done a terrible job of keeping in the loop this entire time.
Bye.
We'll call you. Okay. I called 911. Okay, thanks. So
bye.
Keep me posted. Yeah, sure. Bye. You got it, boo boo.
You got it.
So a really interesting thing happens here. Amber calls Io.
Yes.
And this phone call lasts 5 seconds.
Yep.
5 seconds. And it happens as the officers are going up. So if you like look at the officer's body cam and you time it out, this phone call takes place as the officers are approaching the door to Penthouse 3 to knock on it.
Right.
So as you're watching, as this is happening, she's placing a phone call to IO. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Knock, knock, knock. And it's like, oh crap. Josh goes to the peephole. He sees it's the cops. He does not want to let them in. Why?
I love this. Yep.
Why?
Oh.
Because there is no damage, no injuries, no nothing.
And
Look,
these
we
fools
got
don't
what we
even
needed.
know. And worse than that is like they didn't want to let them in to see that there's no damage, but they didn't even realize that they were wearing cameras.
Yes.
With 6 years later, this footage would like come up from the depths of the sea and just like the Kraken
release
rising, bro.
the Kraken.
Yes, and just like destroy everything.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. He like we'll just play it. Like
cackles in Hoax Demolition.
Yes. And they go in and like nothing, there is nothing out of place. Like all the candelabras and everything. And he's like, no, we're good. Like we got what we needed.
Yeah.
We got the cops to show up. We already didn't give a statement.
Yeah. Josh and his damn slippers.
So I mean, we don't have to watch the rest of this, I don't guess.
Yeah.
But it's this whole like deal. We can scrub through. He doesn't want to let them in, but they have to look around. And then he walks in. He's immediately like, "I must have called again."
Right.
Isn't that right? But what's really interesting about this is this phone call to IO. It was interrupted by the cops showing up.
Correct.
Very much so.
Yep.
So then while the cops are there, this phone call lasts like 5 seconds. Again, I was like, oh, good, you get to catch me up. And she's like, click.
Nope.
And nope. And then Raquel uses Amber's phone that they were just calling IO on to like sort out their stuff. Like to, let's finally get IO's take on this and get him involved. And he said, it's Rock, the cops came. And this is all while the cops are there. So when you see someone like texting, when you see someone like with a phone lit up or whatever in the
it's these messages.
It's the police footage. Yeah, it's these messages that are happening where they're like, hold on, the cops are here. The cops came back.
Yep.
Second set of officers leave. Now, fascinating, the second set of officers leave. Isaac Baruch going up.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like the moment the cops hit the elevator, these fools are in the hallway.
Yep. So we know that we've seen the footage where there's no spills and everything else. We also know that when Isaac goes back up, he sees spill.
He sees, yep. And
if this is the moment, if this is the moment we're thinking about,
correct.
He sees the spills. Now, indulge me again.
Indulge.
There is there. Right there.
Something.
Right there is the exact thing that Isaac claims he saw when he goes back up.
Right.
I think. When Isaac said he couldn't tell if it was like from a sconce or anything in the hallway, it was something right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it could be. I think that's what Isaac could be referring to, that was laying down from maybe one of the sconces or something right there. Because I could be wrong. We may end up cutting this whole thing out. But I think he says as you come off the elevator and you make this turn that there was something there, like from one of the sconces or just something that he doesn't remember, but he remembers seeing something laying there. And there is something laying. There is something laying right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because it was already there.
Yeah.
So we have confirmation that Isaac's not full of crap.
Of course.
that the cops, this was on the cops thing too. It just wasn't on the radar because it's not actual damage
No,
of
it's just
anything. We
something on the
can't
floor.
even say that something has fallen off, something has fallen out of somebody's pocket, something is
There's
there, and we
nothing
don't even
definitive about
we
what
don't
it
we
is
don't
in this
know.
video.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
don't know that who caused it to land there, to get there, or anything like that.
Right.
So we don't even know if it's actual damage of any kind, and certainly don't know if Johnny or anyone did anything with it.
Right.
The interesting part is that it was there, and that Isaac said it was there, because
there.
Isaac also says when he goes back up that wine is there, and it's a puddle. Now,
Yes.
a puddle of wine on carpet would
on
be
the stand, like, yeah.
Yeah. And if it's a puddle of wine on carpet and wine on the walls that's still wet,
Yes.
this is now 2 hours after Johnny had left.
2 hours.
Do you think that puddle, if Johnny created that puddle 2 hours prior to this, do you think that puddle would still be a puddle, or you think it'd be soaked into the carpet?
Yeah, of course it would be soaked in.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be fresh, wet wine on the
It
carpet,
would be like way
puddled
more
up,
displaced.
and it's yeah, exactly. It would be soaked in. It'd be like all this on the walls. It wouldn't be fresh, wet wine on the walls.
Stains drip down. Yep.
So here's where we run into a little bit of healthy speculation, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
I don't think it's much at all. I think after those cops left and they were trying to sort out their stuff, they're making their phone calls to IO and everything else.
Yep.
The cops left and they needed to get some pictures.
Yes.
There's no damage in the apartment at this point. Yep. And yet later we have pictures that they submit from Penthouse 3 of like a little wine glass that's broken on the rug in front of the sink. Then we have the little the dribbles, the bottle in the floor, the dribbles of wine, everything like that.
Yeah.
I think once those cops are gone, they think we're clear.
Agreed.
We can start staging.
Engage the hoax.
Engage hoax.
Yeah.
We can spill a little wine and rough the place up a bit and get their stories straight, which we know they were doing under the direction of a lawyer and a publicist. These are facts, ladies and gents.
Oh, they placed a second call to 911.
We know there was a second call. Exactly. We know there was a second phone call placed to 911.
Right.
We also know, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but Raquel said that Amber at some point during the night was trying to contact the police again.
That's right.
She testified that Amber was very much trying to contact the police again.
Yes.
To get them back here, and or to maybe do something, say something, have them come back and see the damage and then maybe place that on Johnny.
Correct.
But when the second set of cops came and they weren't expecting them in that moment, they thought, okay, the second set of cops came, we don't have our stuff. Let's just take some pictures.
Yeah.
Under the guidance of Samantha Spector.
Samantha Spector. Yep.
Let's take some pictures, but let's not ruin the rugs. Let's not do anything. So let's dribble some wine out on the hardwood. Let's break a little glass.
Right.
A little glass on the rug in front of the sink, and let's stack up some picture frames.
Right.
And then they go into the hallway, and it's either all of them or Josh alone. They go into the hallway.
Yeah.
And they spill the wine. They don't break a bottle, but they spill the wine, because again, if you spill it, you can soak it up real quick.
Yes.
It's not going to soak in. You can spill it, splash it on the walls, spill it on the floor, take your pictures, and call it a day. What happens is as they're leaving, and it takes a few minutes to go down, like as they leave, as the cops leave, and it takes them a few minutes to go down, and then Isaac takes a couple of minutes to get up and everything else. In those minutes, they're out in the hallway, potentially spilling all that wine.
Yes.
Because we know that they were all gathered in Penthouse 3. We know from the time that the first officers arrived that everyone ultimately ended up in Penthouse 3. Everyone ultimately ended up over here.
Right.
They were all hanging out right there.
Yeah.
Because that's where they had all their conversations. This is where the first set of officers signs and hadn't had their conversations. So when they came out here into the hall to make their little mess, they thought the second set of cops are gone. We don't have to worry about this. That second phone call, that was them. We can go now, make our mess.
Boom.
We can make our mess. We can take our photos and everything else. And then all of a sudden they hear a noise.
Hoax in action.
Yep, oh boy. They hear somebody coming around the hall.
Yep.
And they freak out. That's why they went from Penthouse within minutes, went from inside Penthouse 3 into Penthouse 1, because Isaac testified that when he got there and he saw the spill, he didn't knock on the door. He didn't do anything. All he did was start to speculate, wow, someone must have had a heck of a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Josh tucks away into Penthouse 1.
Yep.
So, and that is the only thing that would explain. And again, the times can be hazy, and I get that. The times can be what they are. But it would explain why Josh came out of these are big steel doors, by the way. You don't hear these are soundproof. These are Penthouse. This is Penthouse level. Okay. These aren't these aren't paper walls. This is soundproof stuff.
Right.
Because otherwise they would have known the cops were at the door before they knocked.
Right.
Josh had just snuck in, like just bounced into Penthouse 1. Wanted to see who it was peeking through the peephole, and then saw it was Isaac. So then he just opens the door because it's just Isaac examining the spilled wine and everything.
Right.
Which I think is just really, really damning. When you think about it, it's really, really damning that he's like, oh crap, maybe the cops are coming back. So then he just goes into Penthouse 1 and just is freaking out, probably just staring through the hole.
It's ridiculous.
And then he sees it as Isaac, and that's when he comes out and he's like, yeah, it was a rough night. He just explains it like that because he just got busted taking pictures, and they just got busted spilling the wine that they needed to spill.
Busted, disgusted, and could never be trusted.
Oh, look at you.
No. Taking it back.
Take it back. Let's see.
Well, should we go?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. What do you want to go over?
Yeah, I was going to say, go to the next day.
Yeah, let's go to the next day. So as everyone knows, this is when it really gets interesting. Really, really, really gets interesting. This is where
it gets spicy.
Yes, queen. I'm sorry I said that. Anywho.
Lord,
so let's pull this up.
Yep.
We have the following day, May 22nd.
Yes.
She's been texting everybody. She's been texting her parents at this point, all this stuff.
Lure everybody in. Set the hooks. Here we go. Baits on the line. God. Okay. You tell him, bro. You tell him, bro.
Tell him. So now we've got the next day and the next morning, and we got these photos, these filtered photos again. These got submitted initially with the TRO request or the DVRO request.
Right.
Everyone remembers. Everybody remembers.
Everybody.
All right, everybody. Everybody remembers this footage.
The 21st of May.
May. Tony, what's that? May. Let's just dub it over. So, anywho.
Here comes
so this
crackhead.
is Amber. You're like, I'm over it. I'm over it.
So done.
So done. This is when we are like an hour and a half into this, and we're finally just now getting to this.
Which is now we're kind of actually really getting to the good part, but it's all right.
We're getting to the good part. Everybody remembers this if you watched the trial, if you watched my video that I released some like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That had this footage in it. And this is Amber about to go down and meet Cornelius Harrell and pick up some wine and all that stuff. You might notice one, she doesn't have her hair in front of her face.
You got it. Yep. Pulled back. No problem.
She got it pulled back. No problem. She actually even goes to the front desk like this.
Yeah. And she has not. This is before she goes to Amanda DeCadenay's party.
This is before she goes, and she's got her hair in her face. And Amanda's like, oh, yeah, that was because she was like, you know, there was a really bad mark and you could see it. If you could see it, at Amanda's party, you could see it here. And you don't see it here. And Cornelius Harrell testified that you didn't see it there. And there's another lady at the front desk that when she goes to the front desk, boom, still hair behind you. She's just right there, like just displaying the right side of her. Look, just right there. You can see it. He's like, I saw her in good light. It's right there.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Now the interesting part,
the most fascinating thing,
is she's on her phone. And everyone who's seen this has seen her texting on her phone, right? She's sending a text now.
Absolutely fascinating elevator ride. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If I may.
Yeah, you may, brother.
13:06.
Yep.
48 seconds.
1:06 p.m.
1:06 p.m. Amber.
Lay it on him.
Amber is on her phone.
Yep.
She is sending a text message. Okay.
Okay.
Boom. Hold on. Let's do this. Wait a second. Okay.
Here we go.
Do it this way. Here we go.
Okay.
Now, you may notice at 12:34.
Yes.
Noon. Just after noon.
Yes.
Amber texts Rocket Man. Now, Rocket Man is Elon Musk. And she says, for such a smart man, I would think you wouldn't need to investigate any further than your last text to me before such radio silence commenced. Now, at 12:34 on May 22nd, Amber is so distraught, so worried about her safety.
Oh my goodness!
She couldn't go any. She couldn't go any. She couldn't go anywhere alone. Except ride elevators and stuff alone. She was afraid Johnny could come back at any point.
Yeah. And
finish the job. And so she's texting Elon.
Give her the cement shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And she's already guilting Elon for ghosting her however long prior to this day.
Yep.
This is the next day. We are literally like 15 hours removed from Johnny allegedly beating her.
Yep.
And she's traumatized, catatonic, just beside herself. And 15 hours later, she's texting the next man up.
Why did you ghost me, Rocket Boy?
Why did you ghost me and everything else? Not any of that. So he texts her back. Well, I'm just glad you're okay. You talked about Jay being violent in the past and still having keys to the apartment. So
of course she did.
I thought something might have happened. Of course she told him that. Of course she was telling Elon this because Elon's the next one up. Because she even, for the record, she even told Johnny when she got with Johnny that Taja was abusive and everything else. So whoever's next in line.
Yeah, they get the sob story from the last person.
Last year's model, is a lemon. That's just what it is. And she's about to exactly. She's about to upgrade, so she's got to make the last one look like a piece of crap.
Yeah, she got to go from the Range Rover to the Tesla. All right.
Exactly. Yeah. So text exchange continues. It did, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
That's a little relevant. That feels a little, you got beat last night, allegedly. That feels a little relevant. I had the locks changed. So she's already talking about changing the locks. Of course, now changing the locks is not for safety purposes. Changing the locks that's because Johnny literally sent a group text saying, you guys are done. You're out.
Of my house.
So she's like, we got to change the locks. We got to change the locks.
That's
what that's about.
I don't know how they think that would have prevented an eviction, but anyways,
they didn't own any of it. Just like Josh saying, you're not stepping foot back in this building. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. He owns the entire top floor. So
you pay property taxes on the 5 penthouses, Joshy. Let's talk about it.
We tried to pay him rent. We swear to God we did.
Sure.
When they said that. So then at 1 o'clock, legal divorce filing tomorrow, restraining order, all that.
Yep.
What the F? But you're okay, right? Is there anything I can do? I'm happy to engage 24/7 security for you if you'd like. It would be utterly confidential.
Utterly.
Also showing this man knows how to get stuff done without people finding out about it.
Yeah, imagine that.
So at 13:06, Amber enters the lift. So here she is. Here's the video of her texting. We've seen it.
Here she goes.
Here she goes.
13:07.
13:07.
You're watching her text Elon.
13:07. You're watching
the elevator.
You're watching her text the next man up as she's going to the birthday party. This traumatized woman. Who had to like reset rules about like who could say something to her and touch her and do anything, and like has had PTSD. The
rules are disrobe and get in bed.
Just 15 hours later.
Right.
15 hours later is already texting Elon. All that is irrelevant to why I stopped talking to you. So there is apparently an old beef that has nothing to do with Johnny.
There's some beef
that has nothing to do with Johnny and the alleged abuse or anything, and she's just mad. She is already trying to guilt the next man up.
She's quashing the beef right here. She's trying to quash the beef.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, that's irrelevant. Listen.
I need a Tesla.
I'm gonna need you to step up to the plate."
And off she goes.
So she leaves. So she spends this entire time. She goes, okay, real quick. All that's irrelevant. Okay. Yeah. We'll watch this. We'll skip through this. This is when she's talking to Cornelius. She goes down to the front desk, talks to Cornelius. She goes and gets her package. He said it was wine, so I guess she took wine to the party.
Right.
This is when he can see her. This is her face. Look, right side of her face, just on full display.
Yep. No issues there.
She gets back on the elevator.
Yep.
What time are we looking at here, Jax?
1:09.
1:09 in some seconds. She's back on her phone.
There you go.
Yeah, she's back on her phone. Gee,
heading out.
She's heading out to the parking garage. Now, of course, we've got the it's still 1:09 here. We got this 6-minute delay.
I mean, 6 minutes. Correct.
Yeah. So she's back on her phone. She gets out to the parking garage. Fires off gets another text from Rocket Man.
Gets another one from Rocket Man.
So, yep. I know the offer would stand even if you never wanted to see me again. Anyway, sorry for being an idiot. The radio silence hurt a lot. It only matters because I really like you. Oh my God, it worked. Oh my God. This dude's like, okay, yeah. JD beat you and everything else, but I'm really sorry for ghosting you. I really like you a lot.
I like you.
Yeah, can I come over and make it up to you, basically?
No, because tonight's for Franco.
Because tonight is for Franco. Exactly. Because she spends the entire day, she's got to go get her prescription. Okay. Yeah. And again, she didn't have any of these problems. She didn't abuse any of this stuff, but here she is like, hey, I'm pharmacy hopping. I'm pharmacy hopping for Xanax.
All the things.
So then she goes to Raquel's thing,
the damn weed fair. Yep.
and Raquel asks, "Can I post this pic of us?"
Right.
Can I post this pic? She never gets back to her, by the way. She never gets back to her.
And then no mention of anything. Can I post this picture?
Yeah.
We look cute.
We look cute. Do you mind if I post it? This is a good one.
They all have that ridiculous valley.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh.
So she texts Elon again after leaving Raquel's thing. Texts him and says, yeah, hence why I was so affected by your text the other night. The other night. So they were in recent communication with one another leading up to the night of the hoax. She was already lining it up. She knew it was over. She knew Johnny was coming over to get her stuff or get some of his stuff. And she was like, this is it. This is my last shot to get him. And I've already got Elon waiting in the wings. I've been guilt tripping him and everything like that. Your text hurt my feelings, my black eye, all that doesn't hurt my feelings. From being ghosted. Those hurt my feels. You got me right in the feels.
The sads.
In a way, said no further questions, Yara.
God.
And then she texted him again because he didn't say anything back. She said, look, some things are hard to text. I'm here if you want to ring. So like, let's talk about us. And he says a little bit later, will do. While she's at Amanda's birthday party, which she stays at for a good while.
Time. Yeah.
And even JD's trying to like extend an olive branch throughout this. He's trying to extend an olive branch and say, look, I just want to give us peace. I just want to do this. Like, like no hostility, no nothing. Can we, she's asking, can we speak?
Yep.
And she's just leaving Amanda's birthday party at 5:50, so close to 6 p.m. So she's been there. She's been there for hours, and which is fine. It's a birthday party. I mean, it is what it is. But you've been there for hours, and many people have seen you and everything like that. And so he said, just let me know when you have a minute. JD's, just wants to give her a sense of ease because, of course, she was the one that would panic when he was leaving, like she probably was the night before, and freaking out that it was finally over.
And he fired off that text about see y'all later. You were already ready to yell at me, and
you were already ready to pounce. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have this later.
Yeah.
And
this is the video that when I posted the screenshot, everybody on Twitter was like, "What's happening?
What's happening?"
Nothing.
So she leaves as close to 6 o'clock. It's 5:50 p.m. She leaves Amanda's birthday party, right?
Yeah.
And she gets back and she's got this
her hair's up,
coat on, right? And look at this. Look at the side of that face. Look
up.
Her hair is up, which means we don't know for how long it's been up, but in theory, her hair could have been up at some point during Amanda's birthday party, and she has no trouble. Again, remember, hair was in the face to hide the fact that there was this like unhideable thing, on the side of her face. And here she is with her hair up, just holly jolly on the phone with somebody, and we don't.
Holly jolly
Hoaxmas. I was gonna say it. You beat me to it. It's the best time.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I don't know, but there'll be hoes and hoes mad. He did that tweet. He did that tweet, and I was like, clever. So she seems like she's in good spirits. Who knows? But she's just got an overcoat on. She's got her hair pulled up. There is nothing wrong with the side of this face. She's also on the phone.
Imagine that. Franco.
She's also. You think it's Franco?
I don't know. Just making sure.
I just made sure. Now it could be. Now here's why I think it could be, because there's no record.
Correct.
But we know that Franco comes over.
Yes.
Later.
Yes.
But there is absolutely no record of any communication with these two. So it could be that she communicated through some sort of third-party messaging app. We don't know.
Yeah.
But she ain't on the phone with Johnny because this is before she says, I'm gonna need a minute.
Totally.
So that's at 6:22. 15 minutes later, she texts Johnny and says, Yes, but I'm scared and sad. Scared and sad. She's scared and said, "Are you okay if I wait till I get home to call you?" Okay. Not for nothing. Not for nothing. She's home.
Right.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I mean, like, I know
He
that
is
it's
home.
I know that it's nitpicky, but she's basically saying, "Are you okay? I'm not home right now, but she's home.
She's home.
I know you're busy, so please tell me if that's okay. I can text you when I'm there. Is that okay?" She's home. She's home. She's already freaking there. Because she gets there at 6:22, 6:23. She texts him at like 6:38.
Yeah.
6:37. And then she goes somewhere with Josh. Again, hair pulled back.
Yeah.
Nothing doing.
Nothing.
Just so now let's scrub through.
Yep.
Here we go. So what we don't have, we have these two leaving, right?
Yeah.
And that's at, so she's already telling Johnny, like,
that's at 6:42.
Take till I get home, blah, blah, I can text you when I'm there. So she's leaving, going somewhere. So in someone may say in her defense, she's about to leave, like she's getting ready to leave.
All right, fine.
Fair enough. So she's about to go somewhere. So this is one of those moments where we don't have footage of her going back up.
Right.
Which is interesting in and of itself.
Yeah.
So we have this skip ahead. We don't see her again. And maybe the footage exists somewhere. But now we have Amber late night, 10:56, almost 11 p.m. going downstairs.
Yeah.
No phone in hand, nothing. Just is going down to meet somebody. And this is because this is Franco's night.
This is Franco's night.
Whatever Franco's shenanigans they're up to. That's she's gonna ride this down. And then this is where she gets back on the elevator. Scrub ahead. This is boom, look at that. Jack, do you see anything on that face? No. Anything on that face. Of course, she's like, remember to, keep your head down, walk straight to the corner.
Yep.
That right there.
She reverses into him, Franco. Which is so ridiculous.
Like she just backpedals into him and just like
backs it up.
Yeah, boom. Boop, here we are. Like, we don't know who this is. Oh God. And he's got his backpack. We actually don't have footage of Franco leaving.
No, we don't.
We don't have footage of Franco leaving. He's got his backpack with God knows what in it. I'm sure like board games and stuff, but like
totally, they're gonna play Parcheesi.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's where he says, "Whenever you feel like it."
Sad. Poor Johnny.
I'm sad. I'm scared, and I'm broken. My sweet Jesus, that's awful.
Oof,
I do want to read this one.
Okay.
So he texts her back and he says, "I want you happy. I have zero harsh feelings." Why would a man who instigated every level of violence and all that, who just kind of told them all off in a text message the night before because he felt used and abused and everything else, why would a man tell her, why would he be the one saying, "I have zero harsh feelings"? Yeah. I have no harsh feelings. He has no harsh feelings because everything was happening to him.
Correct.
And he's still trying to tell her, "I'm being the bigger person."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what that was.
You have Amanda stuff.
We have Amanda DeCadenet telling her, like, "Choose you. Take care of you. Be safe. Thanks for coming to my birthday."
She got taken for a ride too.
This is Josh's statement.
Yeah.
That he emails to her on the night of the 22nd. He emails it to Amber.
Yeah.
And it gets really fascinating because I think this is it gets really fascinating because I think this would be a good time to introduce kind of what we're getting at.
Yes.
We come back to Adam's statements. The statement that she won.
Yeah.
Quite simply, it was an ambush. A hoax.
Yeah.
I think given the Johnny's text and the fact that Amber was very much wanting to be in the loop of when he was arriving, was he coming, making sure he was coming.
Yeah.
Everything that we've talked about with evidence existing, then not existing, then like the pictures, getting busted in the hallway by Isaac.
Yep.
All of that. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to the face. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine, roughed up the place, and got their story straight under the direction, and then placed a second call to 911. Now, that is not inaccurate. They got their story straight and placed a second call to 911. Adam had every reason and right, and there's a legal way of saying this, to believe this. And for a really good reason, and you've got that reason, and you've got it handy. So I'll let you take the reins.
I do. So
lay it out there.
What we have is
do it. I'm kidding.
Do it. Just do it.
No. You got to lay some groundwork here. You got to.
So what we have is a brand new piece of evidence, never before seen, all that fun stuff. And what it is an email from Adam to the legal team at Brown Rudnick. There you go. So here it is from Adam Waldman, date November 11th, 2019. To Christina Seitz, Ben Chu, Camille Vasquez, titled Urgent. Here are the key points from that call. It should be noted that this date of November 11th is the date that Adam spoke to Josh Drew. So he spoke to Drew, and then he sent this email to Ben and Camille.
Correct.
And it says, Rocky and Amber's sworn stories that she was summoned by an 8:07 p.m. text to come help her with a berserk Johnny was, quote, a lie. Rocky was hiding in Penthouse. It's 3. He wrote 5. It's 3 all along. Almost certainly in the coat closet by the front door, which explains both the security guard's testimony that she never came past them and was already in the apartment when they entered, and Johnny's that Rocky just came out of nowhere past his right shoulder to go stand with Amber. Super important fact, and I hope he will repeat it. Spoiler alert, he did not. This makes the whole thing a setup and discredits both their testimony. All right. Number 2, Amber was sleeping with Musk all the week after the 21st, obviously not on Franco's night, the 22nd.
Exactly. So just to touch on that for a second.
Go ahead.
That is a very, very, very important,
super important
thing that has basically been we've proven it. I mean, the fact that Franco's night was the 22nd.
Right.
That Josh Drew told Adam Franco's night was the 22nd. But Elon was with her the rest of the week. And what was Amber setting up in those text messages when she was on the elevator and stuff like that? But guilting Elon for ghosting her and telling him how much her feelings were hurt and all that. That lines up. These are notes that, again, this is from Josh Drew to Adam.
Yeah. This is
all this information.
Adam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, Amber and Musk were into some kinky things together. He did not elaborate. Number 4, she did have, quote, marks on her at times. He even seemed to suggest she had marks on her the night of the 21st, although, of course, we know this is not true. Do we know if he ever gave a declaration to Amber? I bet he did back then. And that's what we're about to look at.
Yep.
Number 5, there was a long gap between Johnny's departure and calling the cops, perhaps an hour or more, which we just went through on the night of the 21st. Couldn't be precise. During that time, they all sat together in Penthouse 3 on the phone with Samantha Spector, her divorce lawyer, who was guiding them too, writing it all down to get their story straight before calling the cops.
Yep.
And there you have Adam's statement.
Yep. So
kind of the really go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, everything he said in that second statement that she won, he had every reason to believe it, and just based on talking to Josh Drew here, to believe it and to say it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the most interesting thing is like this email has existed since November 11, 2019. Just to actually throw this in there, Josh's deposition was done on November 19th of 2019. So something changed.
Something happened in that 8 days.
Between him
giving
all this to Adam and then sitting for his deposition.
Yeah, which he does say in his deposition that Amber had gotten in touch with him. Now he says it was in the last couple of months, but I would venture a guess that getting in touch and then actually getting to him could be two totally different things.
Yeah. And if you watch Josh's deposition, he's asked at a point in time, did you ever tell anyone that Raquel was hiding in the closet? Which of course he emphatically says no. But this is where that question comes from. Why they didn't take it further, why he's not confronted more, why they don't say, Adam, you had a phone call with Adam and this is what you said. I don't know. Nobody knows.
It's interesting that this email alone could have basically been the clean sweep. This email alone could have got it to where like she wins nothing.
Yes, to defeat the stupid defamation claim. That's all they had to do. All Braun Rudnick had to do was introduce this email, and Adam had every reason to believe that he was telling him the truth, because besides that, all the evidence that we just went through actually supports these statements that Josh made to Adam.
Exactly. So all the evidence that we have, that we've gone over, that still exists, that maybe we haven't gone over, absolutely mirrors this email. And you've got the body cam footage. It's all like there. It's all there. You've got Isaac's testimony. You've got all this stuff that predates Josh Drew's deposition. And it makes you wonder why they didn't bring this email up.
Right.
Because Adam was still very much a party, or a member and attached to this case. And at this time, and he was the one that was he was gathering a lot of the evidence, and he was talking to the witnesses and all that. So he has his interview with Josh roughly a week before his deposition, and gets all of this information out of him, and then something happens in the deposition, or between now and the deposition. And the fact that this plus the body cam footage and all the evidence we just talked about, this alone could have absolutely been the sweep, the clean sweep.
Yep, exactly.
And got it to where Adam wasn't. He's not in the wrong when he said all that stuff.
No, he's definitely not.
It was very much an ambush, a hoax. It was Raquel hiding out again. If Raquel got over there so quick, why didn't she rush in? Why did she wait for the phone call to be over with IO?
Yeah.
Like why did that happen? Or it's a lot not adding up from a sense of, let me jump back to here.
Yeah, there's some interesting, I mentioned this earlier, there's some interesting things floating around this weekend where this all happens. You know, why do you launch the hoax now? Okay, Johnny's mom died. They know, Amber knows that it's over from the month prior, after the grumpy in the bed.
Right.
There's obviously been this talk about divorce. Lawyers have been retained since December.
Right.
But this May date is kind of ambiguous. It seems meaningless, really, in the scheme. There's all these other opportunities for divorce to happen, and you know, just kind of gets interesting. But there is something about this weekend, which I don't know, you know, put whatever weight on it you want. I don't have a document. I don't have it's just a known fact. I don't have anything to share on screen about it. But the end of this week, meaning 19, 20, 21, somewhere in there, Amber's good behavior bond for smuggling the dogs into Australia expires this weekend.
Yes.
And she is now officially off the hook for that little fiasco.
Right.
Meaning it's over, no more money, no more being in trouble, doesn't need to defend anything.
And she doesn't need Johnny
Right.
to take any,
Fix
you know,
it.
do any more apology videos or fix
Right.
it or cover for or anything like that. She doesn't need that anymore at this time.
Right.
Literally leading into this night.
Yep.
She's off the hook.
Yep. So
which is interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
So, yeah, something to chew on, folks.
Yeah.
As she doesn't need Johnny anymore for this, he's the marriage is over.
Yeah.
She knows that. She doesn't need it to work for the purposes of shielding her from the Australian government with the dog smuggling thing. And she's already lining up, literally, you're seeing it. We've read it. She's already lining up Elon Musk.
Right. You watched it happen.
You literally watched her texting Elon Musk on the elevator.
So,
which goes right in hand with what Josh told Adam, which is Franco came over that night. Again, this isn't like a result of CCTV footage getting out. You know, we didn't.
Yeah.
This isn't like, hey, we knew Elon was there and everything like that. We knew they dated, but the fact that Josh was dead on and said Franco came over the night of the 22nd. Oh, he did. Turns out he did. And then the rest of the week was Elon.
Right.
And she was already lining that up because she didn't need Johnny anymore.
Yeah.
And
pretty spectacular that there's so much CCTV footage. I mean, we got Cara Delevingne the other day and all this.
Oh yeah.
But there's no footage of Elon. There's 2 screenshots of Elon in an elevator. But there's no moving picture footage.
There's no moving picture footage, and
Elon
was here all week.
Very interesting.
All week.
Very interesting.
There are a lot of gaps of people coming and going and everything like that. Like there are a lot of like gaps.
Yes, in the footage you can see it sometimes.
In the footage.
People will go up twice or down twice.
I'll show. There's like a gap missing, and it's like, why is the gap that seems to be pretty selective? Missing. Makes you wonder.
Certainly does. Certainly does.
I think you need. It's time to start maybe looking into ties and connections with who's looking out for who.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of I don't think it's
there's no such thing as coincidence.
I don't think there's any such thing as coincidence, and I don't think it's any such thing as a secret anymore that a certain group also represented a certain fella.
Yeah. But not our Bryant fella.
Not this fella. No. No. A fella with a lot more zeros on the end of his net worth.
certain group represented a certain rocket guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be best left for another podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
so here we have, if you go back and I know you can pull this up, you don't even have to screen share it, but you can read that little section again real quick, Jax, about Josh giving a statement, Adam actually questioning if Josh gave a statement.
Yeah, I mean, he very smartly, puts this piece together by saying, I wonder, do we know if he ever gave a declaration to Amber? I bet he did back then. Well, lo and behold, we get it in the NGN closing documents here, this email that Josh has sent to Amber.
This email that he has sent to Amber for approval, basically. Yeah. And the purpose of this document is to describe in the best possible manner by description of the events I was directly witness to on the evening of Saturday, May 21st. That very much sounds like a lawyer told him to write it that way, doesn't it?
Sure does. Thanks, Samantha.
Thanks, Samantha, which also to Adam's statement under the guidance of
a lawyer.
At 8:06, because he looked at the timestamp,
yeah,
Amber sent a text to Raquel asking her to come over to Penthouse 3, where she was engaged in conversation with her husband, Johnny. I was in Penthouse 5 with Liz. Now, notice he doesn't say I was in Penthouse 5 with Liz and Raquel, and then Raquel went over, anything like that. I was just in Penthouse 5 with Liz, waiting for them to complete the conversation.
Right.
Approximately 15 minutes later. Now, here's where it gets, I think this is where this gets really interesting.
It just gets stupid.
It does get stupid. Approximately 15 minutes later, we, Josh and Liz, heard Johnny shouting. Again, these doors are thick and you can see just how far away they would have to be. Johnny would be standing here.
Yeah.
In Penthouse 3 with the door closed and a penthouse between them. Josh and Liz would be here, right?
Right.
In Penthouse 5, all the way down the hall.
Yep.
Okay, so we heard Johnny shouting and saw through the peephole both of his security team rush over in the direction of Penthouse 3. We heard him continue to shout, as well as what sounded like banging on the walls, which was confirmed with dents and scratches on the doors, as well as the wine spilled all over the hallway.
Lies.
Josh, it's lies because
we've seen it. We've seen the video. It's not like there's no speculation around this. This did not happen.
This is not speculation. Fact. He was not smashing stuff. He was not denting in doors or scratching doors or anything like that. You saw Penthouse 5 dead on.
Yep.
Dead on. You saw the Penthouse 5's door. You saw Penthouse 1's door practically dead on.
Yep.
At that screenshot of the video. Nothing was spilled, scratched, dented, anything. So what he's saying is he hears Johnny in the hallway yelling. I would theorize he didn't actually hear Johnny yelling. He just heard the aftermath of the argument of Johnny saying, I didn't touch her, whatever. Amber wants you to believe that she was tucked away in Penthouse 3. And remember, claims, let me go find this. This, if I may.
You may.
Is from 2019, okay? So if anyone remembers, one of Amber's big pushes to get this whole thing dismissed came in 2019, right?
Yep.
She says, Johnny smashed various objects around the house with a wine bottle as he left. Josh, Rocky's fiance, entered and told Rocky and me to stay in Penthouse 1, the neighboring penthouse Josh and Rocky lived in. Josh met Johnny in the hallway where they squared off. So again, big bad Josh. Where they squared off, Johnny did not touch Josh. Instead, Johnny smashed more items in the hallway. We have no picture. They don't even have pictures of smashed stuff in the hallway.
No.
Just the spilled wine, because all they had time to do was spill the wine, duck away, because Isaac came out, and they're like, crap, now Isaac saw it. All we got was spilled wine. Fine, screw it. Take those pictures and be done.
Yeah.
That's all they had. Johnny then
Wine
demand
everywhere.
Johnny
Kicked a
then
hole in the
oh
solid
here we go,
door.
spill and kicked a
Don't-
hole in a
yeah.
solid door. Here, I'm
Jeez.
sorry, I skipped that.
No, you're
Instead, Johnny
fine.
smashed more items in the hallway, spilled wine everywhere, and kicked a hole in a solid door.
Bro,
These are
come
steel
on.
doors. Steel doors. Kicked a hole in a solid door.
This is so ridiculous.
Johnny then demanded to be let into Penthouse 5. How does she know this? Real quick. How does Amber know this? That he demanded to be let into Penthouse 5, my apartment where all of my belongings were at the time. Either Jerry or Sean opened the door, despite my repeated request to not let Johnny in due to his longstanding history of destroying my possessions when he would be angry. Now, my issue is, one, she's concerned about her possessions, not her safety. Two, I thought she was staying in here and tucked away, and Josh came in to rescue her. Now, the initial, she was catatonic. Remember, Josh rushed in and was like, "What's going on?" And she was like, catatonic.
Blast off this ridiculous text to Kevin Murphy while I'm catatonic.
Exactly. Instead, here's what I think happened. Because she says right here, this is testimony. This is under penalty of perjury testimony.
Yeah.
And she says that
anybody feel free to charge her at any damn time.
At any time that she was outside telling them don't let him in, which means she was in the hallway with them, screaming, saying, "Don't let Johnny in. Do not let Johnny in there." I would also venture a guess that she maybe even told Josh, "Don't let him in," because what does Josh do? During this, I locked the door to Penthouse 5.
Right.
Now, that flies in the face of what Amber just said he did. Squared off with Johnny in the hallway while he was going to see catatonic, traumatized Amber. Instead, no. Instead, in his first statement, this is the day after. This is the day after. Everything's supposed to be fresh in your memory and everything like that. This is the day after that he said he actually locked the door because they were unlocked. And that he heard Johnny come up to the door. I would venture a guess that he heard Johnny coming up to the door, and either one, maybe he got scared, but again, this is big bad Josh.
Leroy Brown.
You know, this is bad Leroy Brown. You know, like this, you don't step foot back in this building. You do not. Instead, he's like, click, good luck, sweetheart. You know, like just yelling through the like at the peephole, like he just locks himself and Liz into Penthouse 5, and he's like, "Good luck. I know he's a violent man. Good luck, sweetheart." Like you said, stick and move.
Yeah, bob and weave.
Bob and weave, baby. Come on, you got this.
Come on, Rocky. You got
this. You got it, Rocky. There's a reason you named that. So again, locks himself in Penthouse 5. This is to keep Johnny from entering, and of course, Johnny, he says, is let in. He says, "Let me in this fucking place," which he did without hesitation. And then he heard Johnny come up to He walked in and immediately started screaming at him. Now, this is probably the "get out, free rides over" speech. You know, this is probably the start of this that he ends up saying in a text message.
Yes.
You know, where he says, "Get the F out of my house.
Right.
You MFers sold me out," so on and so forth. And the whole time, no more than 6 inches from his face. He didn't respond in any way, rather. He just calmly made his way to the door.
Right.
Says Johnny followed him all around, said Johnny made a beeline at Liz, which, according to Liz, Josh wasn't even present for, but now he is.
According to Amber, Johnny chased her out with a wine bottle.
Wine bottle, yeah. So then he left there and went into Penthouse 3. But again, according to Amber, she was already out there like begging them to not let him in.
Right.
Don't let him in. Don't let him in. Don't let him in. And Josh tried to lock him out, and they let him in anyway. And that just goes to the whole. This sounds more like Josh. This sounds a lot more like the Josh we all know and love. Because we also have that testimony from December of 2015 where Raquel saying when they come home, and this is when Amber was afraid Johnny was going to kill her, according to her testimony. And Josh and Raquel. I can't remember if it's Josh's or Raquel's testimony, and they say that they walk in and Raquel's like, "Oh God, something's terribly wrong. Quick,
Right.
Josh, back to our place and wait." And he's like, "Okay, you go upstairs and walk into God knows what you're going to walk into, what kind of a mess or what kind of a monster that like that." Right. This sounds about right.
Yeah.
That Johnny sent that text message because he said, "Did I just show up to get yelled at?" Which means Johnny was he got yelled at, he got mocked while on the phone with IO. All this stuff happened. Then he tosses the phone over his shoulder and leaves, and Amber's yelling at him and everything like that. She's losing her mind. She's sending FU texts to Kevin Murphy. All this stuff's happening. He gets up to Penthouse 5 and he's like, he's going up to Penthouse 5. He's going to kick them out, whatever, tell them they're gone. Yep. Josh locks himself in there. Again, big bad Josh looking out for his wife. Big bad
Leroy Brown.
Yeah, just locks himself in Penthouse 5. So this is
downtown.
This is the statement. This is the statement Adam wasn't even aware of, but had a hunch was given.
Yeah.
Man.
So, dude.
This is like.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Everything is.
Anyway.
I mean, people.
So what we have is.
Yeah.
I mean, we have proof.
Yeah. Statement.
We have proof.
I mean, look, what's done is done. They didn't show, the necessary evidence wasn't necessarily shown in court, to kind of make the jury really see that what had happened here, even if they had just shown the 2 police calls and the discrepancies and in that stuff. Maybe there wasn't enough time. Maybe they didn't think it was important. Maybe they just didn't see any type of way that the jury would give her any one of those statements. I mean, there's 100 possibilities there. It's just unfortunate because all this does exist. And Brown Rudnick clearly had that email for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, they had that email going in. They had it going into his deposition a week, 8 days later.
Yeah. And
kind of didn't hold his feet to the fire on some of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad.
And could have got a clean sweep off of just submitting this into evidence.
Look, I mean, the statement is silly that they gave it to her. It's a silly statement. It's about, roughing up the place and taking pictures for the police. Okay, fine. She didn't get the other 2 ones, which are much more damaging about, her claims being fraudulent and all that kind of stuff. Wonderful. That's what we want to win, because obviously they ruled for him that her claims were fraudulent. She lied.
Overwhelming. Right. Yeah, she
overwhelming. Lied. So, okay, but it's just, it wasn't necessary because there was evidence to prove that what Adam said was valid. So.
Yeah, absolutely. He had every reason to say what he said.
Yeah.
And just watch it. I don't know why it blows my mind, but it does, that not even a day later, like 14, 15 hours later, you're watching her text the next man up.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Like, you're watching her text like she's going to a party. Everything's fine. She's got PTSD. Oh, by the way, Elon, I was really sad the other night when you ghosted me. Like, dude.
Yeah. It's so crazy, because people are like, oh, you guys keep talking about this. Now you're rehashing May 21 again, this, that, and the other. Like, let's just say there's so much more to this story than what everyone has seen. What has been seen through the trial and through a few things is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
And I think what we are hoping to do is sort of break the story open a little bit more, but it has to be done a little bit at a time because it will get very overwhelming very quickly. So, we start with this May 21st. Oh, please enjoy watching her text Elon in real time as she travels down the elevator.
As she goes down the elevator.
And things like that, and more will cut. We got there, there's some potential projects lined up here over the next couple of weeks that I think everyone will really enjoy.
Yeah.
Some potential YouTube live videos and stuff like that, and
Yeah, we've got some good material for some lives. I think that people are really going to be interested to see.
Yeah.
And it allows people to not just listen to us or me ramble
I
forever.
mean, I
Like
think,
they'll be able to put something in on it, you know.
yeah. And
With,
what's really sort of interesting, as much stuff as we did see in the trial and we have seen over the
Mhm.
years,
Yeah.
the evidence in this case really has not been presented yet.
No,
And
I
it's
mean,
wild. It's just wild.
think about all of the depositions you saw just from his side
Think about everything that everyone,
that were minutes long versus hours.
oh, and think about everything that everyone knows exists, but didn't get in, right? The Australian
Yeah.
audio is a big one. We
Yeah.
keep bringing that up.
Yeah.
Lots of other CCTV footage, lots of text messages from Amber and her side. Not one text message was shown in court.
Yeah.
And even just far beyond everything that you can probably pull up quickly in your mind of things that haven't been presented yet, there's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's, if people want to continue down the pathway of learning about what that is, then we'll happily present it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so there's no, leave no stone unturned, and
Right.
leave no doubt really that
Right.
that she can't sit here and say, I didn't get this in and I didn't get this in. And
Yeah, well, it's crap.
yeah, well, that's crap, because there's a lot of stuff that didn't get in against you, and you know that, and you're just I think she's just hoping that this is the stuff that never gets out, and she can keep with this narrative of, I got a lot of stuff that didn't get in the hopes that this doesn't get out either. So this just kind of nips it all in the bud.
Yeah, I mean, the just to kind of quickly wrap up on this email of Adam's that we shared, they are
Yeah.
contemporaneous notes and they do have a legal meaning. They are an
Yeah.
exception to the hearsay rule, so they could have been used to impeach
Correct.
Josh Drew, either in his deposition or if he had given live testimony. And you know, while as I bring that up, I think I obviously it is. I don't have to think. Not having the hoaxers testify in
rarely
person
think.
was I don't have to think. Not having the hoax brigade testify in person was absolutely a tactic so that they couldn't be cross-examined.
Right.
And then just using these old depositions, Josh's deposition from 2019, not being able to confront with any new evidence, that no body cam came much later, just not giving that opportunity. Not that it helped her because she lost, but these contemporaneous notes, especially from a lawyer, are a big deal. It's considered a big deal. So
it's so they couldn't be
Adam
confronted.
said, yeah, it's not just like, oh, Adam said some junk about his phone call with Josh Drew. No, Adam's a lawyer. These were statements made, technically on the record, and it's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really big deal to know that this stuff is out there, and there's still so much out. This is public. This is on Nick's website, and
this is just sitting on Nick's website.
It's worth combing over, because
my
that's when
goodness.
things it just popped up to me, and I was like,
it's a treasure trove, that thing.
All I could remember was, I just saw that text to Elon pop up, and I was like, she's on the elevator, and then I remember the footage, and watching her text him, just lining the next dude up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's I'm gonna stop sharing so we can just.
Yeah, so that is what we got for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you stuck with us. It's a little bit of a long one, but I know some people like them long. So
yeah, some people like them long. You can skim through it. I don't know. We'll put some timestamps or something. I don't know. Or just screw it. Just watch it. Just watch it. Just watch it. It's good stuff. It's us just.
It's good.
We get through it. It. You get to see some of the 3D stuff. Kind of see the layout of that. Really we'll make some use of that going forward too.
Yeah.
With some of these claims, like the birthday party that took place in Penthouse 5 and the December incident. I think that one would be a good one to break down, three-dimensional.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree.
Dragged all over the place.
Yeah.
So I enjoy this.
No, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well,
I like doing the videos. I like being able to present visual demonstrations.
yeah,
It's very
yeah, me
good.
too.
It's good.
Me
It's
too.
helpful.
And we've got some stuff lined up, material to go over. We appreciate everybody watching. Seriously, we don't have a sign off, but I just want to say I appreciate everyone watching and support the channel, subscribe. But I know that we're on. I'm gonna do this shameless plug. I'll do it because Jax won't. I'm gonna do it. So, like, subscribe, share, comment, do something that maybe helps this new channel, Movie Myths and Monsters, out on the algorithm. And just kind of get it out there if you want to watch it, because I know we're going to be producing a lot of content on this channel. We're also going to jump over to mine for some live. Yeah, we're gonna jump over to mine. So anyone watching this, if they're wondering when some stuff's coming to my channel, it's coming. We're probably going to do quite a bit of the lives on my channel, so everyone can interact there and give their input and comments and everything like that, and we can just react in real time, and you, the audience, can keep the conversation moving forward, and kind of keep us from straying on these tangents that we like to go on.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
So
but that's okay.
But I appreciate it. But either way, this is a channel we're going to be putting stuff on as well. So, if you like what we're doing, hit the old subscribe.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you for continuing on to listen to the podcast all the way through the road to Fairfax, and now on this new season. We just appreciate that you guys like the content and engage with what we're making, and that you're enjoying it. So that's what's really important to us. So thank you very, very much.
And, thank you.
We'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.